Happy 2025. I have been here in Australia on the East Coast and the northern New South Wales beaches of Casuarina and Kingscliff since January 1st. Lucky enough to spend nearly 2 weeks here, which has given me a lot of time to rest and think about the past year and also plan my 2025. And so I wanted to share with everyone what I am thinking about, what's on my mind for this coming year and some of the changes that have happened in the last year. Really thankful for an amazing 2024. It was truly one of the first years that I've been able to really return to what I love to do, which is travel, teach, share stories. I have been incredibly fortunate over the last 12 months to share stories in Hong Kong about Oregon, Washington, Sonoma, Napa Valley wines, and continue that into Seoul and Korea and Japan and Tokyo, Denmark, in a beautiful village called Aarhus, and really meet some just amazing industry professionals internationally and reconnect with, the people that really make what we do very, very special. Also locally in the US, I went to markets for limited edition, my wine brand, Georgia, parts of North Carolina, Charlotte, really amazing towns where there's just phenomenal industry professionals really changing the story, telling new stories, creating their own stories, and sharing the journey of the wines that we make in the US. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I think that this is potentially the most exciting time for US wine. We have never had so much access to the amount of grape variety, foraging plantings in new vineyard areas, the demand and the interest for it. I know that the next decade or two in the US is going to be incredibly interesting and fun and provocative. I will be spending some time this year coming up in the Pfalz region in Germany for the Stage 2 European Master of Wine seminar, where I'm going to get to connect and mentor and share my journey and hopefully encourage and share insights on how to pass the Master of Wine qualification. After that, I'll be in Napa Valley, where I'm excited to be at Unified and then also at the Napa Valley Stage 2 Master of Wine seminar. Really excited about the program, and Stage 2 is just when you've moved into passing the exam for Stage 1, blind tasting and theory examination, and then getting into Stage 2, which is really where you're preparing for the grueling sort of marathon triathlon effort of 4 to 5 days of blind tasting, I think there's 12 theory papers now that you need to write. So really grueling examination process for the Master of Wine examination. I'm excited to be a part of and excited to be mentoring students again for that. And then I will be following that with the Oregon Wine Symposium in February. This is actually going to be the last year for me building out that curriculum. Give seminars on viticulture, winemaking, sales and marketing, direct-to-consumer channels, distribution channels, international, export. There's a lot that happens. Excited to be moving on from that. So following that, I will be traveling to London, where I will be showing limited edition wines. Also to Wine Paris, where I'll be doing the same thing, but I will also be working with the Masters of Wine Institute and presenting masterclasses on Oregon and Washington wines, also for trade masterclasses. And then at Wine Paris, I'll be part of California as well, digging into what makes wine such a sustainable product and how the industry is really addressing and wrapping their arms around how they can be the most sustainable and what that means in terms of not just environmental sustainability, but also social sustainability as well. We'll also be traveling to Oslo, Norway, Copenhagen, just before Provine, and then I'll be at Provine and working with Sonoma County Wines, sharing beautiful stories of cool climate Sonoma County, really deep valleys and sustainable efforts that they're doing in their industry, sharing those stories. So I'm excited to do that. And I'm excited also to start to dig into things that have really resonated and allowed me over the past 12 months to reconnect with what has always been really important in my wine journey, which is sustainable practices and sustainable farming practices, social sustainability as well in our industry, and how we can attract more people, diversity, more great people into our industry, and how we can really help this industry thrive. There's so much anti-alcohol sentiment out there at the moment. I feel like wine is getting lumped into, and I just feel like that there is so much more that wine gives us. For me, wine has always been a way to bring people together. You started in restaurants, that's where I fell in love with wine. I got to tell their stories with their wines to the consumers that came in, and I made some really amazing friendships, not just with the winemakers, but with the consumers, the customers who came in and came back and trusted me and allowed me to take them on this journey. You know, on a day-to-day basis, I would say that wine brings me a lot more joy, a lot more togetherness, a lot more connectedness and transparency than a lot of other beverages do. You know, I know in Oregon, a lot of producers are moving towards regenerative organic farming practices, which is something I'm incredibly interested in and really supportive of, really helping to sequester carbon, bringing animals and more biodiversity into the vineyard. Of course, not using systemic pesticides and fungicides. There's a lot that we can really communicate more about. And so I'm going to dig in a little bit deeper into some of these efforts this year. Also, of course, into the women in wine, because there are many of us, and this is still a very male-dominated industry. So I am still going to double down on all the amazing women that are in the wine industry, in the wine retail space, in the wine distribution space, in the sommelier space, and really try to be an ally and mentor for any of those women who would like to continue into this industry. It is a great industry to be in, but this is an industry where you're going to have really valuable, important relationships. You're going to be supported and sustained in a much different level from the connections that you make on a day-to-day basis. I get to spend half of my year out in vineyards and then in the cellar being creative and making wine, and then I get to spend the other half of my year out speaking with the people who tell the stories about wine, and I get to be that conduit, that bridge between the vineyard and the cellar and these amazing regions and these amazing growers and makers, and sharing their hard work with everyone and making this industry stronger, more diverse, more transparent, and continue to make it a fantastic industry to be involved in. If you would like to follow along with my adventures, follow me at BreestockMW on Instagram, and I also am on YouTube. Reach out, drop any suggestions for content that you are interested in learning about. I'd love to share, and let me know what you're thinking about, what thoughts you have, and I will do my best to address those and continue to share my adventures in this amazing industry. Cheers, everyone. Happy 2025.